Alright, in this video we'll be learning how to find the chemical formula of ionic compounds. So here we have 6 examples. Let's go to the first one. We have calcium chloride. So in order to find the chemical formula of the compound, you need to find the chemical formula of the single ion first. So calcium is in group 2 of your periodic table. That means that its charge is 2+. Chloride comes from chlorine, and chlorine is found in group 7 in the periodic table, so the charge will be negative. Okay, so what is the chemical formula for this ionic compound? The first thing that you got to do is to circle the numbers. So in Ca2+, I'm going to circle 2. In Cl-, I'm going to circle the imaginary 1. Alright, next step, after we circle, we are going to bring down the numbers. Okay, so what do we have? Here I have calcium. Let's start with Ca first. And then note that we are bringing down 1. So when the number is 1, we don't have to write it. So let's move on. The next atom will be chlorine. And then we are going to bring down this number 2. So this is the formula for calcium chloride. Take note that in the final formula, there is no plus or minus. Let's look at another example, calcium oxide. Okay, so as mentioned, right, calcium is in group 2. So its charge will be 2+. Oxide, if you look in the periodic table, this comes from oxygen. This is a group 6 element. So in group 6, the charge will be 2-. Okay, so when we want to find the chemical formula for calcium oxide, do the circle, circle, cross, cross method. So you circle the numbers. Both numbers here happen to be 2. Now when this happens, when you notice that the numbers are the same, then you know, oh, then the formula is very simple. You just have to write down the alphabets. You just ignore the numbers and ignore the plus and minus. So CaO will be the formula for calcium oxide. Okay, so when numbers are the same, we throw them away. Let's look at example 3. Here I have magnesium carbonate. Magnesium is a group 2 element, so its formula will be Mg2+. Carbonate is a special anion, so you got to memorize the formula. The formula is CO3 2-. Please take note, when I write the 3, right, I'm saying that there are 3 oxygen. So I put the 3 at the bottom right beside oxygen. Okay, now let's find out the chemical formula for magnesium carbonate. So first thing, we circle the numbers. I have a 2 here. For for carbonate, we are circling number 2 at the top. Right, when you look at the numbers that we have just circled, these both numbers are the same. So as mentioned earlier, when the numbers are the same, we can just throw them away. So we just write everything else. So it's MgCO3. So this is the chemical formula for magnesium carbonate. Same thing, you notice that all the plus and minus is missing. Okay, now let's take a look at the fourth example. Here I have sodium carbonate. Sodium is in group 1. So group 1, that means it's a +1 charge. Carbonate you have to memorize. So this is CO3 2-. Okay, so when we want to find the formula of sodium carbonate, we're going to do circle, circle, cross, cross. Circle the numbers first. So in Na+, the number is an imaginary 1. For CO3 2-, we are going to circle only the top number. Okay, we're going to leave the 3 at the bottom alone. Next step, we're going to bring down the numbers. Okay, and then we are ready to write the formula. So it's Na. So take note, we have brought down number 2. So we leave 2 here. And then CO3. Now in this case, we are supposed to bring down number 1, but since we never write 1, so let's just leave it. Okay, and this is perfect. So this is the formula for sodium carbonate. Alright, now let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at sodium hydroxide first. Okay, sodium is a group 1 element as mentioned, so its formula of the ion will be Na+. Hydroxide is a special anion, so you got to memorize it. It is OH-. So hydroxide refers to 1 oxygen and 1 hydrogen bonded together. So what's the formula for sodium hydroxide? We're going to do circle, circle, cross, cross again. So I'm circling an imaginary 1 and another imaginary 1. So same thing, you realize that the numbers are exactly the same. So we just throw away the numbers, and then this is our formula, NaOH. Okay? Now, I want you to compare this with the last example actually, magnesium hydroxide. Okay, magnesium we have mentioned previously is from group 2. So the charge is Mg2 plus. Hydroxide is the special anion we got to memorize, so it's OH minus. So when we want to find out the chemical formula for magnesium hydroxide, we're going to do circle, circle, cross, cross again. So we're circling the numbers 2 up here. Here I have an imaginary 1, okay? And then since these two numbers are different, so we need to bring them down. Okay, now we are ready to write the formula. So I have Mg. Okay, take note, I'm bringing down 1. So because it's 1, so I don't write it. Okay, then the next two elements I have O and H. Now, at this point, I'm supposed to bring a 2 down, right? So if I bring a 2 down, this will look like there's only 2 hydrogen, but that's not what I mean. I mean the 2 is supposed to affect both oxygen and hydrogen. So that's why I need to have a bracket. Okay, so this is the most challenging part because a lot of us always forget the bracket. So general rule of thumb, when I bring down 1, I don't need a bracket. Okay, when I bring down any numbers apart from 1 and then it's one of those special anions, then I have to put the bracket.